guys, it's Jessii Vee. So I bet you just saw the title of this video. That was my evil laugh. So today I'm going to be reading the stories that you guys, you sitting right there, sent into me last week. I got so many, you guys have no idea. I wish I could read every single one of them, but that would make this video days and days long. So if you like this video today, definitely let me know down below if you want me to make it part 2. But basically, last week I asked you guys to send me in your embarrassing period horror stories. So something just super embarrassing and crazy that happened to you while you had your period. And by the way, yes, we're talking about periods today. It's a normal function. It's a normal thing for women. So many people just think it's this disgusting, weird thing you can't talk about, but you can. So boys, if you're watching and you're like, either plug your ears or just take in the fact that this is what happens to humans. And if you haven't gotten your period yet, I don't want this video to scare you or make you nervous for it, because honestly the reason why I'm telling these stories is because they are real life stories from real life girls who have been through this. It's just to show you that these things happen to everyone. Everyone has an embarrassing period story, unless obviously you haven't gotten yours yet, then that would be literally impossible. But everyone has had accidents, everyone has had something happen, so I feel like sharing them makes it less scary and less weird, because it happens, you shake it off, and then everyone forgets about it, you know what I mean? So I have a handful of your stories that I'm going to be reading today. As I said, I could only read so many, so if you want me to make a part 2, definitely let me know. But before I get into this very awesome video, I wanted to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by the app called Clue. Now, I have talked about Clue many times on this channel before. It is an app that I have always supported. I think it is very helpful, very useful, and it's a great thing for every girl who has their period to have on their phone. It's basically a great way to track your period, and it has a ton of other awesome features. It also tracks your mood, your health, your cycles, changes in your hair, skin, energy, cravings, basically all the things that go on with you during the month. It's great because there is a calendar that literally shows your period history, so you'll always have it. Let's say if a doctor wants to see it or know about it. And it also predicts when your next period will be, so you're all prepared. And that's why this fits so well in this video, because a lot of these embarrassing period stories are from girls who didn't expect to have their period one day. But with this app, you can literally see which days exactly to predict you'll have it, so that way you can prepare better. And it's also awesome because it has customizable reminders. So you can set like little reminders for yourself with little emojis like, hello, tomorrow might be my period. And what's great about Clue is that the app is constantly evolving. Like every time I talk about it, it's gotten better and better. It has a bunch of new features, for example, Clue Plus. So the actual Clue app is completely free, but if you want to get Clue Plus, you do have to sign up for a subscription, but it gives you an enhanced analysis of your cycles and forecasts of what's coming up. Clue's forecast feature gives you personalized alerts about what's about to happen so you can be prepared. So the more you track, the more forecasts you'll get. So Clue is definitely an amazing app to have on your phone. I highly recommend that you download it. The link is down below. It is available for iPhones, iPads, Android devices, tablets, basically everything. It is also important to note that Clue is not a contraceptive, so if you want to avoid pregnancy, it's definitely important to use a form of birth control. So yeah, definitely click on the link down in the description to download Clue and enjoy tracking your period. Okay, so now it is time. It is the moment of truth. It is time for me to read some of your period horror stories. Now, as I said before, I can only read a handful, so get ready. It's also going to be anonymous because I know sometimes it's difficult to expose your period secrets and just embarrassing things that have happened to you, which is understandable. So I'm not going to say any names today. I said that before, so no need for you guys to worry, okay? So let's read the first one. I have my little laptop here, so I'm going to be reading off of it, okay? Because no, I did not memorize your period horror stories. I was at my dad's house with my brother. I went to go change my pad, and I come out and he says, "What the heck was that? Were you eating chips in the bathroom?" I am silent. I start nervously laughing and he goes, "Just tell me." And I ran away of embarrassment. Lesson is, don't change your pad when your brother is outside the bathroom door. Oh my gosh, I can see how that's a little bit embarrassing, but at least it's your family, you know? But yeah, changing pads definitely does sound like opening a bag of chips, because it's just so like crinkly and stuff. I always used to try to be as quiet as possible, especially in a public bathroom. But at my age now, it's like, okay, everyone has their periods. No one cares anymore. All right, next one. I was in 5th grade and was on my first period, and we were walking walking to gym in a line. My crush was walking behind me and I had leaked but had no clue. He tapped on my shoulder and told me I had a spot on my pants and I was so embarrassed. I can imagine, especially in 5th grade when you have a crush. Like, I know when I was that age, my crushes were everything to me. Like, if I did anything even slightly embarrassing, I would just not want to come to school ever. But I mean, the good news is at least he cared enough to inform you that you had your period on your pants. Like, he tapped you, told you what was happening, and that way you were able to like go deal with it. Like, that was kind of nice of him. But I see why that's super embarrassing. I remember one time, this is not like a period story, but I was in line, my crush was behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, hey, you have a bee on your shoulder. And I literally screamed and ran. And that was also very embarrassing. All right, next one. Once I was at my co-op and I was on my period. I went to go change my tampon in the restroom. I looked in my bag and didn't have any more. Then, as I was disposing the old tampon, I accidentally dropped it and it rolled into the next stall. The person kicked it over to me and said, I think you lost this. I was mortified. Okay, so far, this is definitely the most embarrassing one. I can't even begin to like feel your pain with this one here. Nothing like this has ever happened to me, thankfully. And I think it's a little like rude that they just kicked it back over at you. But you were in a women's restroom, so they have to understand that things like that just happen sometimes. One time when I was on my period, I went to my best friend's house. I was sitting on their white couch and leaked through. So when nobody was looking, I flipped the cushion over. I'm still so embarrassed at myself for that and they still don't know. Oh my goodness. So it leaked on their white couch and you just flipped the cushion over so they wouldn't know. Oh man, that sounds like something I would want to do, but I just feel so guilty. Like, my conscience bugs me all the time. Like, I can't lie, I can't do anything bad because it would bother me all day. So I feel like if I leaked on someone's couch, I'd just be like, I'm so sorry. Look at that. That's from me. I'm so sorry. Imagine them finding it like 3 years later, like they're cleaning or something and they flip over the couch and there's just like blood. Did someone die here or what's going on? So this was last Christmas Eve and it snowed where I live, which doesn't happen very often at all. I was really excited and I jumped in the snow with my clothes on and I was with my cousin. We were sliding around in the snow, just throwing it, and then I looked down and there's a trail of blood on the snow from where I was sliding and I got so freaked out because my cousin was a guy. Yeah, that would be super embarrassing, but I guess you could just sort of like pull it off as like you cut yourself on something in the snow or ice or something. But at least it was someone in your family, so I feel like that's not as mortifying. But I know when I was young and like any boy, if he knew I was on my period or something, that was just really embarrassing to me. Alright, next one. One time I was on my period, so I had been using a lot of pads and throwing them into the bathroom trash can. Later, I went into the living room and saw chewed up pads all over the floor. What? Then I went into the bathroom and the trash can was tipped over. My dog had never done this before, but it was disgusting. Luckily, I only live with my mom, so it wasn't super embarrassing. Oh my goodness. First of all, I feel bad for the dog that he had to like ew. And I feel bad for you too, because imagine like your mom just seeing these like chewed up pads all over the floor and they were used. Yeah, dogs just don't, sometimes they're not very smart at all. Like, Winnie will try and eat the most random things in my house that are definitely not meant for dogs. And it's like, how does she not put 2 and 2 together that that's not food? That could kill you. So I'm constantly making sure nothing is ever on my floor. If any food is ever dropped, I like rush and grab it because I don't know if that's good for her or not. She just doesn't, she eats everything. All right, so let's read one more. This one says, I was messing around with another classmate's things on his desk and he wanted to get me back. So he grabbed my book bag and proceeded to look inside. I had been in a rush that morning, so I had forgotten to put my supplies in a pouch and he saw them. Then he told his friends, who were basically all the boys in my class, about it. Some girls overheard and did comfort me, but I was very embarrassed for a while, even to the point of tears, but it got better. Yeah, I know, like at elementary school, so I got my period when I was in grade 7. I think the beginning of grade 7. And I know that whenever I brought my pads to school, it was just so embarrassing if anyone saw them, which looking back is just so ridiculous because it's such a normal function. And I didn't realize this until I got older, that it's really not an embarrassing thing. It just means your body's working the way it should, you know? So I do hope that after hearing all of these embarrassing period stories that you guys don't feel as bad if you've had one, for example, because it just happens, you know? Laugh it off, shake it off, go home, sleep it off, and then the next day everyone's gonna forget about it. But if you guys would like me to make a part 2 on this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below because I have so many of your stories that I could still read. And if you want to send some more, it's jessievstories@outlook.com. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I always like doing stuff where I include you guys in some way. I want to do more of those types of videos. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get going, but I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.